Good morning, Twitch. How are we doing today? So today, y'all come to me live from inside my bed. And the reason we are in bed today, actually, is because per doctor's orders for my surgery, I'm supposed to be spending time off of my feet. And to do that, I figured I could run a stream about finances and stocks. And once we're done that, we can dive into some Railroad Tycoon if you want to see me do some 18th, or sorry, rather 19th century style fraud in one of my favorite all-time games. Good morning, Anna. Good morning, everyone. So that's why we're in bed. We're just relaxing, having a nice, beautiful morning. In fact, I'm actually going to go ahead and get up. I shouldn't, but get up just so briefly to allow a little bit more daylight in here. That's much better, I think. Yes. Anywho, so today's big topic is going to be financial fitness. Much in the same way that I talk to y'all about being the best version of y'all selves that you can be, in the physical fitness sense, by eating correctly and by working out hard, getting swole, all of that. In the same way, I also recommend looking very intently at one's finances, ensuring that your finances are as fit as your body is. So, today I figured we could talk about that. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is open the chat up to audience. And audience, if you have any financial questions about managing money, questions about making a budget, any of that sort of thing, we can go over it. My first plan was probably going to be to show you guys my own budget, which I have pulled up right here. So let me just go ahead and grab that. Stand by. Just get back to 2018 as an example, or we do 2019. There we go. So if we go to our coming stuck in traffic, oof. Hey, take your time. Take your time. There's no need to rush. Today's going to be a very low-key, relaxed stream. It's going to be talking about money, talking about finances, and how to manage it. Now, I'm wondering, do you guys think I feel like part of me, like, it feels weird to have a shirt on in bed. Part of me wants to take this off, but I'm not entirely sure I should. We'll see. So we're going to go ahead and switch over to make sure I have it on my phone so that way I can check the views. Okay, so we got 3 people. It's not much, but it'll work. Good morning, Night Owl. Good morning, everyone. Welcome in. So today's going to be, you know what? I feel like, I don't know if I should go shirtless or not. Part of me wants to, but I'm just worried Twitch is going to get angry at me if I do that. I don't know where the line is for them is the problem. Anyway, so we're going to talk about financial fitness. Okay? Much in the same way that it's extremely important to eat correctly, get enough sleep, and diet, and exercise, you need to be able to take care of your finances correctly. There are many different levels to what one would define as having your finances in order. We're going to talk about that. Good morning, Metal. So, let's talk about the levels of personal finance, okay? To me, there are 7 or 8 of these, so we'll kind of go through them in steps. The first and the absolute worst place you want to be in is fiscal insolvency. Fiscal insolvency is when you have more expenses than you do income, and you do not have a large amount of assets with which to withdraw in a sustainable manner for the long run. So fiscally insolvent means, you're racking up credit card debt, you're living beyond your means, or you are not bringing in enough income. Obviously, being fiscally insolvent can lead to a lot of problems very quickly. including or not limited to bankruptcy. So we don't want that. Hang on. Let me just do. Let me do this. I'm gonna make a poll real quick. We'll do. There we go. We'll throw the poll up for 10 minutes. I want to wait. I want this poll to take some time. That'll be fun. Anyway, so the first level is fiscal insolvency. You don't want to be fiscally insolvent. If you are fiscally insolvent, that is an emergency and it's one you need to take care of as soon as possible. So that would be level, I would call that level 0. The second level is fiscal solvency. In other words, you're treading water. You have enough income to account for your expenses, but no more. In other words, if any number of disasters were to hit you or you were to lose your income, you would be dropped down to level 0 very quickly. Level 1 is not a stable place to be, but it is unfortunately all too commonly where many people end up staying for the majority of their lives. This step is called living paycheck to paycheck in layman's terms. You don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. Level 2 is the kind of standard average course for most people. Let's see. All right, the no votes have it so far. Yeah, I want to just because it feels weird to have my shirt on in bed, but it's probably not safe to do that. So yeah, level 2 is sort of where the standard, I would say, or average American is. It is it's fiscal. You are solvent fiscally. You are surviving. You're able to meet all of your expenses, but you don't really have a very big cushion. You might have a couple $100 saved in an emergency fund, or you might be putting away 5% of your income to a 401k. So it's not bad, but it's not as good as it should be. This step is where you're going to, if you are lucky, be able to retire at 65 or 70, assuming Social Security is still there when you get old. And this is where, again, I would say, you have the genuine failures, the fuck ups in life that are fiscally insolvent. I'm sorry. If you cannot be fiscally solvent, you've got problems, big problems. Those are maybe less than 5% of people. But the people living paycheck to paycheck and the people just above that, these two, level 1 and level 2, they probably make up the vast majority of Americans, unfortunately. The next step is having a solid fiscal base. So a solid fiscal base is one where you've got, you know, maybe $10,000 saved in an emergency. You're putting away at least 10% of your income into retirement savings. And generally speaking, you are living, I wouldn't quite say significantly, but you're living just below your means. Uh, and you know that if things were to get worse, you'd be able to cut expenses to bring your expenses down to where your income would be. If you were to lose part or all of your income, you'd have a plan. This is having a stable fiscal base. Unfortunately, the vast majority of people never get to this step, which is level 3. That's quite a shame. Because having this stable fiscal base allows you to weather pretty much any and all emergencies. And it's not a very difficult step to reach. Getting to level 3, anyone can do that. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to, if you work diligently and you budget correctly, get to this level. So the next level is level 4. Now we're starting to get into the part where your money starts buying you freedom. Level 4 is what I would call uh, it's called the sabbatical level, or the uh, financially, I would call this the start. You're starting to get into the realm of what I would call prosperity. Level 4 is where you've got, I would say, between 2 and 3 years worth, actually, really 2 and 5 years worth of living expenses saved up that you could withdraw from in the event you needed to. In other words, if you wanted to take a sabbatical, if you wanted to stop working and go to college to retrain yourself, get a different degree, and enter a different field, if you wanted to, try doing charity work for a few years, basically, if you really wanted to make a life-changing event, it wouldn't hurt you too bad. You'd be okay. So that's level 4, and very few people end up getting even to that level, which is rather sad if you ask me. I think it's rather pitiable that people don't get any further than that, but unfortunately, it's a rather sad state of affairs that we have in this country financially, and indeed in most of the developed world. It's quite shocking to me that savings rates in places like China and India are far higher, even though incomes are far, far lower than in the Western world. And as bad as the United States is, we are nowhere near the bottom of this list. The worst right now these days are the British. And, well, speaking of events out of one's control, look at what has happened to the Great British Pound. Ever since Brexit happened, the pound has slowly been falling and falling and falling in value, which is ripping off the British public. Now, granted, the British public were the idiots that voted for Brexit, so I don't feel too bad for them. By the way, if you are from the UK and pro-Brexit, hey, you get what you deserve. Enjoy, bringing yourself back to the 1970s, but that's what you've gone and done here. Wow. We went from having 3 no votes and no yes votes to 20 yes votes. Holy crap, really? Wow. All right, well, we got people watching now. I'm worried. Y'all, I'm just worried. I just don't want. Yeah, whatever. I'm going to let that poll continue. Just keep my shirt on until then. So, level 4 is, it's really, I would call that the first sort of vestiges of financial freedom, where if you wanted to completely do an upheaval to your life and try a completely new field, or get a degree, or go for a sabbatical, or go do charity work, go, I don't know, work for the Peace Corps for a year or two, you could. That usually comes with having 2 years to 5 years worth of expenses saved up. Now, notice that I said expenses there, and that's a very important point. Financial freedom is not based around how much income you make. It is at the very low end. If you're making less than $10,000 a year, then yeah, your best bet is probably to find ways to make more income first. But beyond that, it is primarily about how much you spend relative to how much you make. If you're making a lot and spending a little, that adds up very quickly because you save the rest, and those savings are what become investments. Those investments are what become capital, and you want good capital. So the next step up is level 5. At the moment, that's where I am. Level 5 is where you've got roughly anywhere between 5 and about 20 years of expenses saved up. So that's where I'm at right now. Level 5, in a lot of terms, is called the ability to coast. What coasting means is that sitting here at age 27, if I really wanted to, I could quit my job and make just enough via odd jobs or a part-time job to cover my bills, and in a couple decades, probably by my 40s, I would have enough to retire permanently, just by letting compound interest do its work on the amount of money I've already saved. I'm not going to do that. I want to continue to work because I want to get a little bit higher up the chain, but that's generally what level 5 is. And level 5 gives you a certain amount of freedom in the workplace. It means if work truly got intolerable for me, I could tell my boss to blow it out his ass. Thankfully, I like my job, so I don't have to worry about that. Ugh. Let me sit up a little bit more. That's better. So that's level 5. Now, let's talk about level 6. Level 6 is now where we're getting into financial independence territory. Level 6 is what I would call lean fire. Lean fire is you could, if you wanted to, retire tomorrow and generally have enough to support yourself if you kept your expenses to a very basic Spartan minimum. This generally is categorized as having capital and investments between 20 and 30 times the amount your annual expenses are. So if you were spending $20,000 a year, you would have. Okay, so Metal Machine just voted a shit ton of times. Awesome. I gotcha. Okay. So yes wins it there. Metal, you just voted a shit ton. Again, I'm a little worried about Twitch not liking the fact that I would be shirtless, but I don't know. I feel like it's okay, but I am nervous about that. So if you guys have any advice on that, let me know. Um, is it only letting subscribers chat right now? Someone just told me it's only letting subscribers chat. That will not do. No, I do not want subscribers only chatting. This is bullshit. Why did it change that? I did not change that. That is insane. No, I am so sorry, guys. I did not realize that's what it was doing. Fuck subscriber only chat and fuck follower only chat. I love having new people come in. I'm gonna go ahead and type a message in there. I was wondering why so few people were talking. I mean, even relative to my normal streams. Usually I have people talking, a little bit more than that. Okay, so we've already gone to level 6. Level 6 is lean fire. So the idea that you could quit tomorrow, quit your job tomorrow, and never make any more income and live off of your investments, provided that you kept your expenses to a minimum. Why can't I lift? I had a surgery on Monday morning, and per doctor's orders, I cannot lift until for 1 week. I'm going to cheat a little bit and try on Sunday morning, so 6 days. But per doctor's orders, I can't, unfortunately. I could try going out and doing some like bicep curls maybe, but even then, I really shouldn't risk it based on the surgery. And if you guys are interested in hearing what surgery it is, right here. We get to 1,000 followers, you guys can ask me any question you like. So there's the incentive to help. Tell all your friends, get some people following. I appreciate every new follower that comes in here, and I know we're going to get 1,000 by the end of the year. If we can do that, we'll have ourselves a truth or drink stream, or maybe I'll also do some jumping rope. Anyway, so level 6 is sort of what I'm aiming for. So that's usually I would say between 20 and 30 times your expenses saved and invested. Now, level 7 is standard financial independence, what some people know as FIRE. Some might call this being independently wealthy. This is where you've got 30 to 40 times your expenses saved up, or I'd say 30 to 50 times your expenses saved up and invested. You are financially independent. If you don't want to, you don't ever have to work another day in your life. You can afford basically anything you'd like within reason, within your normal range of expenses. You don't have to worry about cutting anything back unless you really want to, in which case the extra income would accumulate and you'd grow your capital. Generally speaking, this is again 30 to 50 times your annual expenses. So if your expenses were $20,000 a year, this would mean having $600,000 and $1 million between that amount saved up. and invested. So that's level 7. Level 8 is the final level. This is what most people would call being, I call this abundant wealth or fat fire. This is when you have more than 50 times your expenses uh, saved up and invested. In other words, you have a withdrawal rate on your capital of less than 2%. If you're at this level, you are able to donate pretty much whatever you want to any given charity at any given time. You are able to, if you wanted to take a trip across the globe, you probably could, pretty much at the drop of a hat. If you wanted to go and basically, you really have to work to blow this cushy financial situation you've built yourself, or perhaps unfortunately you've inherited. I do not care for inherited wealth. I think taxes are a necessary evil, but they should be minimized and they should be based around not working. So um, things like inheritance taxes, I'm a huge fan of, as opposed to income taxes. So if I had my way, we would have extremely high estate taxes in this country, but much lower income taxes and much lower corporate taxes and much, much lower capital gains taxes, because we want to encourage income, we want to encourage working, we want to encourage business, we want to encourage investments. We do not need to encourage inherited fucking wealth. Some of the biggest screw ups of our world are people who inherit their wealth and never have to work hard a day in their lives. Um, I can point to Donald Trump as an example of this. I can point to Paris Hilton as an example of this. I could point to Johnny Manziel as an example of this. The list goes on and on and on, and I'm not trying to be political. I simply believe that inherited wealth is a great way to fuck someone's life up in the head. There's nothing good that comes from inherited wealth, which is why, should I be left anything in an inheritance, and I'm hoping that's decades and decades to come because my mom is still alive, I intend to use absolutely none of it on myself. I will probably donate all of it to charity, because inherited wealth is it's I believe it's the devil. I believe it's nothing good comes of it. Anyway, we've got 12 people, so definitely got fewer people in chat today. I'm wondering if I shouldn't just take my shirt off and consequences come what may. Let's. I'll wait on that one for a little bit. Nah, you know what? I can't imagine Twitch would have problems with me doing that. Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't. It's anyone's guess, honestly. That's the problem I have with Twitch. I have no idea. I have no idea what's okay or not. But I did that in the past. They had no problems with that. It was the sleep stream that got me, and I think I know why it was the sleep stream that got me. Anyway, so Bowser Big Bean Burrito, that's why I can't lift. Those are the 8 steps of financial independence. So let's move on to that. Let's move on with that for a second. So I was talking about, tell us about the crossover point. The crossover point, I believe what you're talking about there, the crossover point is where you get to the point where you no longer need to work to support yourself. The crossover point being that point of financial independence. The crossover point for me would be between levels 5 and level 6. So I would say once you get to about a net worth, actually not a net worth, sorry, invested assets of about 20 times what your expenses are. So let's say your expenses are $20,000 a year. You live on 20 grand a year. If you have $400,000 saved up, you're hitting that crossover point to really where you can tell your boss to fuck off. What's up, Black Laurel? Good to see you in chat. We are doing financial fitness stream today, so you guys can ask me any financial or money-based questions you like, and we're going to talk about it today. I've been going over the steps of financial, I've been going over the steps of your finances, personal finances, from level 0, fiscal insolvency, to level 8, abundant wealth. So we've covered all of those. It's going really well. Per doctor's orders, they want me to kind of stay in bed, take it easy for a few more days because of the surgery. So that's why we're doing something a little different than weightlifting. Believe me, y'all, I hate that I'm not lifting right now. It's driving me insane, and I miss it beyond all belief. I miss it. But as a result, I gotta find. I still want to stream and hang out and make content with you guys. So we're doing something a little bit different today. Today we're talking about stocks. We're talking about finances, and we're going that way. So uh, Bowser Big Beam Burrito with the smug emoji. So let's go ahead and um, get over to my sources real quick, and we are going to add doing a mental health stream every once in a while. Um, Black Laurel, that's a really good question. So mental health is a bit of a tricky animal. I am not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not particularly trained in mental health. See, the reason I feel like I can do financial streams, even though I'm not technically a financial advisor, is because I'm successful in that field on my own. The reason I think I can do lifting streams is because, as you guys have seen, you know, I'm successful on that in my own element. As for mental health, if you guys want to ask me, for your own personal advice regarding mental health questions, you can. I'll certainly give you my take, but want to. I don't want to promise things I can't deliver on. You know what I mean? Mm. So, I'm not a mental health expert. I can help, share some ideas and philosophies that have helped me, but I don't want people to come to me with actual, mental health issues that they should probably seek a professional for. Uh, I'm not a huge fan personally of, shrinks of therapists, but a lot of people stand by them, and I respect their opinions. Personally, for me, my mental health relief valve, my stress relief valve is lifting weights. Obviously, right now, can't with the surgery, can't do that, and that drives me fucking bonkers. I may, I may take us out there. I could set up. Mm, I could put some of the sound deadening panels in. That wouldn't be too bad. Okay, question regarding your best friend's weird recent behavior. Go for it. Ask away in chat. While you do that, I'm going to pull up my budget as an example here. So we're going to go ahead and add a source. Just got to go window capture. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Do display capture. That's what we're looking for. There we go. Okay. So, we're going to go ahead and put my webcam up on the top. Put me over in the top right. Apologize for the... There we go. Okay. So, what we have here... Oh, hang on. There we go. So this is my monthly... This is my budget. Okay, hang on. He doesn't want to talk to anyone about his issues, which become very visible recently. Well, yeah, tell me, by all means, go ahead and let me know. Just tell me on that one. So I'll walk you guys through my budget first. I am a very big fan of basic spreadsheet budgeting. When you have an expense, you put it in your budget. When you have a paycheck, you put it in your budget. When you get taxed, you put it in your budget. Okay, this is mine from 2019. If you guys want me to show you mine from 2022, I can. But just as an example, making money from odd jobs here and there. I used to do a little bit of tutoring on the side through Varsity Tutors. This is my old job, old paycheck. I made something like 70 grand that year. And then these were my taxes. Boy, I miss not having state and local taxes. I get friggin' walloped on that. Thanks, South Carolina. And then, then you've got rent, you've got housing. My essential, I take my expenses and I split them into essentials and non-essentials. So that includes rent, utilities, food, car, um, insurance, the internet, a gym membership, which to me is very much an essential expense. It may not be for you, but that's how I classify it. So that's what all I've got going on here in my essentials. Non-essentials, charity. I believe you should donate to charity. I personally did not donate enough then, and I still feel like I don't donate enough now. Clothing, gifts, alcohol, eating out, traveling, recreation, all those sorts of things I would call non-essential. If you had to, you could strip them out of your budget. Then we have savings and investments. So this is 401k, stock purchase programs, IRA savings, mutual funds, bank bonuses, ETFs, stocks, HSA contributions, and you get to a savings rate down here. All right. Then you've got loans. If I track when I loan people money, I track it. A lot of the time that ends up just becoming a gift anyway. So there we go. I figured I'd run you guys through my budget. This is I used to use Excel, but now that I've switched onto my new laptop, I'm using Google Sheets because I don't have Microsoft Excel anymore. I need to I need to go back from my old computer and port Excel onto this one. I just haven't done it yet, so you'll have to forgive me for that one. This is Google Sheets. It's basically just Excel. And then I have a financial analysis. Ooh, I need to add up. Actually, I need to change this too. Um, I have my car maintenance log in the same one, which reminds me I put an oil change on my car. That was 74,933. Tires, that was also 74,933. And then I've been doing a bunch of this. It'll be 75,650. Washer fluid. So we're just gonna copy, paste. Did the fluid leak. Haven't done the brake system yet. Done the fuel system. Done the restraint system. Done the exhaust system. Done the drive shaft, or the electric drive unit. Haven't done the lubrication. Have done the gas strut. Check the parking brake. Check the accelerator pedal. And then that's good there. And then we have financial analysis on this page, which it's basically, it looks ugly, but it's a calculating date based on what the S&P 500 is and what I expect my rate of interest to be. Obviously, there are some problems, garbage in, garbage out on the model, but we'll see where that goes. Anyway, also I've got year-to-year comps, going with financial analysis there, talking about what different amounts of taxes and all of that I've paid. The taxes are going up tremendously this year, but I still haven't ported any of that in. Anywho, let's go back to, I think you should put investments in a different category from savings. Investments are an expense until you redeem them and get your money back, if you get your money back. So, yes and no. To me, I mostly do a lot of my investing in rather conservative broad-based index funds and mutual funds, and of course that exposes you to sequence of returns risk, but a very easy shield for sequence of return risk is in the event that you are looking to retire and a downturn comes, you simply, work for an extra year or two. It sucks, but, at my age, it's not a huge problem. The challenge is, the thing is with a lot of investments that I do, like most of my investments, again, being in broad-based index funds and mutual funds, are based around, things like the S&P 500, blue chip companies that, let's face it, aren't going anywhere anytime soon. People are still going to want Coca-Cola no matter what the economic conditions are, as an example. As a result of that, if the S&P 500, were to collapse by 80 or 90%, society would have broken down in a manner that makes even savings in cash relatively useless. We'd be looking at something a bit more apocalyptic, and as a result, I don't really think about that too much. Anyway, so let's see. As whenever we plan something, he asks us to meet up. He cancels last minute or apologizing just being rude without a message occurring over 5 months. He would cancel to meet up with some friends from school, but other than that, totally random. Last time I asked him, he didn't meet up, but when he showed up, he was acting like a total stranger. Didn't even say goodbye. 2 days after that, he left the country for university. So if he's leaving the country and flaking on all your plans, what that means is he just doesn't want to spend time with you. It sucks when a friend wants to end the friendship unilaterally and doesn't really communicate that very well because he's very clearly not. But that is giving me every indication that your friend has no interest in continuing the friendship. So I would leave it be at that. I wouldn't worry about it too much and, go from there. I know that's a horrible answer in the sense that it's very cold comfort, but I would say your friend doesn't want to continue the friendship. You can't make him continue the friendship. I think he's being a dick, by not just being a little bit more open about what his situation's concerned. But if he wants to completely throw his life, into upheaval like that and go off to university, that's his right. So I would say, remain friendly, remain cordial, but look for a new friend to replace him with. There's 8 billion other people on this globe. You can find one. Like he pretends to care, but suddenly changed his character. Okay, so what he's trying to do is he's trying to be nice about it, but he's trying to distance himself from you. Let him distance himself. He'll come back if and when he can. So investments, I personally believe investments and savings can largely be described as the same thing, especially because if you save your money in a bank account or under your mattress or wherever you think it's safe, yeah, you don't have to worry about, your investments crashing, but you do have to worry about a much more silent killer, that being inflation. So in inflation right now is at what, 7-8% here in the United States. Across the sea in Europe, it's even higher. So yeah, you might be losing a crap ton in the short term on the stock market, but the stock market's going to rebound. Generally speaking, you're not going to see deflation because if we ever get to that point, the central banks that being either the U.S. Federal Reserve or the European Central Bank, will start printing money to ensure that inflation, stays above 0%. Nobody wants deflation because deflation makes it very hard for new investors and new businesses to start up. A little bit of inflation, generally described as 2 to 3% per year, is seen as a pretty good thing because it's a little bit of an incentive, again, to go out to spend money, to invest, and to get new businesses off the ground. 7 to 8% inflation is bad. There's certainly no getting around that, but it's not catastrophic. It's not even where it was in the 1970s, for instance. So we have deposit banks and investment banks separately. So in the United States, we used to have a law called Glass-Steagall that kind of specified that, and that law went away in the 1990s. So there is no difference here in the United States. You can invest with the same bank that you save with. So on that one, that may be a country thing. Anna, I believe that's probably a difference between your country and mine. In the United States, there is no difference. It's the same. But to me, savings and investments are one and the same. And again, if the stock market were to crash tomorrow, I would simply continue to work and wait for it to rebound because it always does. Even, there's actually people have asked me about, how much do I need to retire? What percentage of my investments can I withdraw every year safely? And the answer, based on a lot of surveys, is usually between 3 and 4%. So if you go towards the more conservative end of that, which is what I do, I advocate 3% as to what you can take out from your capital in a sustainable manner every year, to where your capital will either grow or it will stay the same over time. that has been tested over market scenarios ranging to as good a period as the late 1990s were and as bad a period as 1929 was. And for those of you who don't know what 1929 means in the investing world, that is the absolute worst crash imaginable, the Great Depression. So if it can go through those, if it can go through those parameters, 3% can go through those parameters, it's going to work with whatever comes in the future, unless something worse than the Great Depression happens. And frankly, I don't see that happening. If we were to get exposed with a Great Depression level event, another 1929 level stock crash, the powers that be, both on the big business and the big government side, have quite a lot of vested interest in making sure that doesn't happen, not to mention for the happiness of their own citizens. So I would be inclined to believe the government, central banks, and big businesses would take better precautions and better actions to ensure 1929 does not repeat itself. We may see another 2008, but 2008 was nowhere near as bad as 1929. Anywho, I'd pull your ears if I could say what I mean in English. Okay. Kinky. No, I'm fucking with you. Again, I know a lot of people. This is, to me, I have a little bit more risk tolerance than most people. But I believe, in general, people are a little too risk averse. I think, in general, more money can be made if necessary. Again, in the event that there were to be an economic crash and the stock market were to crash, yes, I would see a lot of my money in the short term wiped out. But as long as I don't withdraw it, the market will eventually climb back up, like it did in the 1930s, like it did in the 2010s, like it did in the 1980s. Eventually, the stock market begins another bull cycle and it comes back up. It has every single time in existence. Someone wants his ears pulled. No, it's that actually is the way I said that. I don't know if y'all picked up on that. It's actually a movie reference. If y'all never watched the movie Blazing Saddles, I highly recommend it. Blazing Saddles is hilarious. So that's budgeting. Do we have any other questions about finances? If not, I'll read a little ERE and then maybe we'll move out to the garage. And I can't lift, but I could perhaps, let's go ahead and turn off the screen. We'll zoom this back up and over. There we are. What I do. If y'all have any questions, again, now's about the time to ask. Otherwise, we'll read a little bit more of Or Reliable, my favorite book of them all, Early Retirement Extreme. And then maybe after that we'll go and I guess I could eat breakfast again if y'all wanted that. It's a well-structured spreadsheet anyway. Did I build it? Yes, I did. That was all built from scratch. And if any of y'all would like a copy of my budget spreadsheet, you know what? I'll put an example down in the Discord. And if for those of you who have found this channel and are new, I do have a Discord down below. If you like the content, you want to see more, I'm very active on there, and it's a lot of fun. Obsessed with spreadsheets. Wonderful. Well, then you guys will like what I have. I'll remind me in the Discord channel. Just ask me in the finances and stocks section, and I'll post my example spreadsheet. So that should work out well for y'all. Anywho, as far as financial advice is concerned, so if y'all have any money questions, investing, stocks, I guess I could pull up my investment portfolio. The markets don't open for another 45 minutes, so it'd be a bit static. It wouldn't be very interesting yet. So maybe we should wait another 45 minutes, then we'll dive into that. Alternatively, we could play a little bit of Railroad Tycoon, do a little bit of fraud. Let me check let's check pre-market real quick. I check pre-market on my phone. Pre-market is looking like S&P 500 is closed at 37.44. yesterday. It's looking like it's going to open a bit red. Um, Tech and startup sectors are looking mostly red. DraftKings signed a lucrative deal with ESPN for those of you who are into sports gambling. I actually have a few shares of DraftKings stock. Okay, Night Owl Paul. I'm interested in investments. My 401k is doing awful. Howdy, Baldern. Good to see you. So let's talk about that. Everyone's 401k is doing awful this year. 2022 has been one of the most challenging investment years in recent history. It's going to go down probably about the same way as 2009 did, or 2001 did, or 1973 did. Unfortunately, due to high inflation and commodity shocks as a result of the Ukrainian and Russian war, there has been very little this year that has really outperformed. Even oil and gas has tanked a little bit. It spiked in February, and if you sold, well, then you made out like a bandit. But oil and gas, I think oil is now back down to $80, $85 a barrel, which I believe it's going to go back up in the short term because it's being depressed because President Biden has been releasing oil from the U.S. Strategic Reserve at a fairly large clip, which means eventually that's going to have to stop, and when it does, oil prices will rise again, as they should. High oil prices are a good thing. I'm not just saying that because all of my Texas A&M buddies are in the oil and gas industries. I never check my shares, I just keep getting them. Well, I will say Rio Tinto's been doing pretty well recently, so good for you. I've been watching that stock. I I did not have the capital available to buy in at 50 recently, and I really wanted to. Rio Tinto is a fucking steal at 50. It's still good at 55. I think it's floating around 60 right now. So, mining is not a bad choice. Mining has outperformed the broader based index funds of the year. So you're doing all right there, CSY. So as far as having a bad 401k is concerned, this year, don't worry about it too much. What are you invested in? I guess is the first question. I could show you all my personal capital. That'd be very, that'd be quite exposing because that would show you guys my net worth, which I'm a bit nervous about. I'm not sure I'd quite be ready for that, but maybe, maybe. Uh, my goal, again, for those of you who don't know, is to be financially independent by the year 2025, ideally May 14th, 2025. May 14th, 2025 is the day before I turn 30. You just make suggestions without showing it. Okay, yeah, I could do that. My goal is to be financially independent, so level 7 by then, or at least level 6. Right now I'm at level 5. I think I'm going to get there. Obviously, this year has been quite difficult financially. I've been smacked hard by taxes. The markets have not been kind. Um, and, I've had to pay a little bit in odds and ends expenses related to the house. But I will say at least the house has been a very good investment so far. The value of this house, I believe I bought it for $137,900. Right now it's sitting around $162,000. So $25,000 in value there. Not bad. Ah. I don't stay in bed this late. I mean, I'm not asleep, but you get what I mean. The truth is, the money I'm making from my day job, I'm gonna get there. My salary's $94,000 a year. I'm doing pretty well for myself financially, and I try not to hide that because I want you guys to ask me questions, learn from what I've done, my successes, my failures, and then apply that to your own life so you can be successful. That's the goal. That's the absolute goal right there. Anyway, okay, so I guess my basic take on how to invest. I'm a fan, as far as brokerages are concerned, I'm a fan of Vanguard. Jack Bogle nailed it 40 years ago. I don't think anyone has beaten his model since, at least not in a way that is repeatable. Therefore, I believe broad-based index funds through Vanguard. Fidelity is good too if you want Fidelity. Tracking the S&P 500. You know, you can have a little bit. I have VTI is the big one. It's an exchange traded fund or ETF tracking the S&P 500 almost linearly. So if the S&P 500 goes up, VTI goes up by about the same amount. VTI has, I think, pretty much the exact same basket of stocks. Excuse me, that the S&P 500 does. So that would be one I would recommend. And to diversify, I do have a little bit of VXUS, which is large international companies, things like Siemens, a German company, Toyota, um, Barclays, UBS, things of that nature, right? All the big multinational companies may even have Rio Tinto in there. Who knows? Um, I have a little bit of VB and a little bit of VO. Those are, and I forget which is which, mid cap and small cap stocks respectively. So like that's tracking the Russell 2000, and small cap stocks. Those are based on what market cap is, right? So S&P 500 or the 500, generally speaking, by market cap, biggest companies in America. The market cap is defined by the stock price multiplied by the number of shares. So the biggest biggest company in the world by market cap, I believe, is Apple, which is valued at something over $1 trillion now. Insane. I know Amazon's up there, Microsoft, Google, which is now I think called Alphabet. Um, a lot of those big tech companies that have just gotten absolutely huge in the last 20, 30 years. I believe beyond those, the other biggest companies, Walmart, WMT, ExxonMobil, if you want to talk about oil and gas. Um, General Motors is pretty big. Tesla has gotten very, very, almost obscenely big in the last few years. I'm not quite convinced of Tesla's value at the current price point, but it's hard to argue they are not absolutely killing it in the electric vehicle sector. They have a better business model than any of the conventional car manufacturers. They're currently out to a huge lead. We'll see if anybody can catch Tesla. So those are those sort of big companies: Johnson and Johnson, Procter and Gamble, ConAgra, Union Pacific, Delta Airlines. Those big sorts of companies. Hello, Jman2345432. Welcome to the stream and thank you for following. I know this isn't a normal stream. We're doing financial fitness because I had a surgery and I can't do lifting fitness outside. So my advice to you, Night Owl Paul, is I don't know what broker you use. If you want to say, by all means, we can talk more about that. Find a broker that has low-cost index funds. Take the lion's share of your investments and put them there. Things like VTI, VXUS, VO, VB, those are good options. SPY, that's tracking the S&P 500 as well. The goal here, though, is you want to look for low expense ratios. So the expense ratio to any balanced fund or ETF is the amount of money that the brokerage takes away from your assets every year as a fee. What you want to look for is a expense ratio below 0.1% or 1 in 1,000. I believe VTI is 0.03%, which is pretty much unbeatable. I don't think there's much lower than that. I think Fidelity is, again, the only other one I've seen compete. So that's why, to me, Vanguard is the gold standard of investing vehicles. I'll put it this way. Vanguard is the 1998 Toyota Corolla of investment vehicles. It's slow, it's ugly, but it is reliable, and it gets the job done. It's not going to let you down. Fidelity, I would call the silver standard. It's very good. So those are definitely my two. All right. So if we've got any other questions related to investments, again, J-Man, thank you very much for the follow. We're now up to 511 followers. 1,000 y'all, and I will do a truth or drink stream, or I'll also probably do jump ropes to try and burn off the calories that I consume. Anyway, do we have any other financial advice questions? If not, I'm going to take a quick pee break, and then I'm going to read a little ERE. And then I think we'll move out to the garage, and I will do some work with the sound installation one of my fans sent me, which was very nice of them. That was Sia Salt. So go ahead and ask your questions. I'm going to go take a pee, and then I'll be right back, and we'll continue talking. Okay? Oh, legs are sore. Ah. Uchi. Aha. Oh. Oh, man. Knees are sore this morning. Alrighty. Ooh. By the way, a wise man once did say that the three things that will chain a man to his job for longer than anything else are expensive cars, expensive houses, and expensive women. And that's the truth. For those of you that are men, truer words have never been spoken. So be very careful with what houses you buy, what cars you buy, and what women you date. All right. I'm going to lay down a little bit. And then we're going to need to go ahead and place. How long did I sleep last night? I got up around 7, went to bed around 11, so about 8 hours. Okay. So close that. Place that over here. We're going to open up our copy of Early Retirement Extreme and read a little. Wow, 17 people. Eek Rodov, love your feet. I appreciate that. I think. They're size 13s. Um, they've served me well. I have done many squats on them. Let's see here. Let's do one with. This will be a good one. Let's talk about college degrees. Peeps and feet, lol. Indeed, indeed. In the grand scheme of things, the functional purpose of universities anymore these days is to sort students into future vocations rather than the commonly believed purpose of broadening their horizons in a useful educational manner. Ask a college graduate when the last time was that they read a book from one end to the other. The answer may surprise and depress you. Despite this, it's possible for individual students to get a broad background in college. Smart, if not street smart, people abound. However, it will come at the cost of a high grade point average, as the student will focus too much on one particular interesting subject or course, which may not economically provide the optimal grade point return on student effort. While college means different things to different people, whether it's a place for higher learning, a 2 to 4 year binge party, or simply a brand name admission ticket required by the job market, that's what it was for me, mostly. The increasing demand for education and resulting higher cost mean that many students take on debt. Student loans are often considered an investment in one's future. What most students forget is that the only way that they can sell this asset is by working off their debt. Also, except for possibly MBA students, very few people do a discounted cash flow analysis to verify that their investment actually has a sufficient internal rate of return. It's perhaps surprising that many trade schools have higher rates of internal returns than college educations. They cost much less, have shorter times to graduation, and due to the overproduction of people with college degrees, the latter no longer bestows as much economic benefit compared to the trades as it used to. Despite this, many young people keep believing that their best shot at a middle class lifestyle is a college degree, just as the lower class spends almost 10% of their already limited income on lottery tickets to achieve their financial dreams. Yes, 10%. Now, I have not done my lottery rant on here before, but the lottery is. I love the fact that it exists. It's a voluntary tax on people too stupid to do math. Don't play the lottery. It's that simple. It's a waste of your money. So, let's talk about careers. Most people's lives are dominated by schedules and procedures. They get up at the same time, every day. They take the same route to work and sit at the same desk and do the same things day in and day out for many, many years. At the end of the day, they go back along the same route, usually by car. They have various chores and activities scheduled until they go to bed at the same time. Maybe they occasionally go to a restaurant, the movies, or sports events. Weekends are like evenings, structured around chores that didn't get done during the week, like laundry, cleaning, and sleeping. Vacations are arranged in the same manner. If not taken between job transitions, vacations are spent a few days here and there as people spend one day traveling and then frantically go around and try to see everything they want to see before they head back exhausted and out of time. The reward for running on this treadmill occurs not through the satisfaction of doing a good job, but from the semi-monthly or monthly paycheck. And then, to top this all off, this is my own editorial note here. Then people say, wow, it feels like the last 10 years have just flown by. Or to quote that great Pink Floyd song, and then one day you'll find 10 years have got behind you. No one told you when to run. You've missed the starting gun. What happens when you build too much routine into your lives is that sort of sameness from day to day makes the days sort of blur in your mind, and as a result it almost kind of dilates time to where years feel a lot shorter than other years. I've had this to a certain extent. 2022 has felt a ton shorter than any of my college years ever did. My college years felt like they took so long, because I was doing something different so much of the time. Even though it was a lot of studying, I was studying about different materials, meeting lots of new people. All sorts of things like that. So that's an important distinction to make. And part of what we're trying to do here is show that this method of achieving financial independence is going to make life seem longer to you because you're going to be able to do more with it. Similarly, much effort goes into spending money. Money is spent as a reward for the drudgery, but often because people perceive that there's nothing better to do with it. Often, money is spent in the most inefficient way possible by using credit cards, then making minimum payments, thus paying for the item twice over in interest alone. Enjoyment is often limited to buying things because there's no time to actually use them, since the buyer has to get back to work and earn more money. Measured in terms of gross domestic product or GDP growth, this cycle is highly productive, but it can be argued that the net effect is not very productive at all. Thanks to advertising, my note here, advertising is a subliminal form of brainwashing. It's really quite amazing how effective it is. Ads are, look, there's no reason that multinational companies would spend billions and billions and billions of dollars every year on advertising if it didn't work to make us think we needed their products. The truth is, we all need very little. Very, very little. Thanks to advertising, nobody knows when enough is enough, even though running out of space in the garage should serve as a very obvious indication. Material wants are universally believed to be infinite in scope. On top of that, everyone seems to want a cut of your earnings. The harder you work, the greater the cut. The tax authorities want their cut, and the more you work, the more they want. People want money to manage the money you don't spend, and money to take care of the things you don't have time to take care of yourself. This requires more work and hence even more costs of daycare, business clothes, wear and tear, expensive haircuts, power lunches, and snack bars. People run harder and harder, but somehow don't seem to get ahead, continuously bleeding money as luxuries become wants, wants become habits, habits become needs, and so they slowly die a financial death by 1,000 nibbling ducks. Living to work and spend, it's not surprising that people derive their main identity. Hey, Niru, thank you. It's good to see you again. Yes, I am back. We're doing financial fitness today because due to surgery, I am out of commission in the gym for a few more days, unfortunately. I don't like it, but doctor's orders. So people derive their main identity through their job title and their purchases. Oh, what do you do for a living? And which brand names do you buy to express your lifestyle? Despite a doubling of productivity over the past 2 generations, our culture is still perpetuating the old 1930s ritual of 8 hours of work, 8 hours of sleep, and 8 hours of spare time. Even though at this point it should have been reduced to 4 hours of work, 8 hours of sleep, and 12 hours of spare time. Many people are just doing what they've been told to do by parents, friends, politicians, bosses, and others. There's a massive stigma associated with occupying one's time with things other than working and consuming advertised products. If you don't believe me, try to give someone that isn't close to you a present that you either bought used or you made yourself. A tremendous amount of money and effort goes into career advancement to earn more money and buy more stuff. Countless books are written and many workshops are given on how to stay late to appear dedicated, how to leave early to appear efficient, where to sit and how to sit, how often and loud to speak at meetings to be noticed by the boss, how to handle performance reviews, and how to worry about other things that are essentially beyond your control in the first place. Similarly, experts explain which questions are asked in a job interview, which responses give the best impression, and how to word a resume so it'll stand out amongst hundreds of other resumes that follow the exact same advice. While such advice appears to be helpful, it only serves to increase the competitive pressure. It's just like the tragedy of the commons, if you all know economics. In turn, employers make a big deal out of finding employees with the right fit, people who either learn or are naturally talented at playing the games of the system. The nascent consumer should already have had practice at fitting in and being popular from high school. In fact, high school athletics is a good preparation for today's corporate world due to the importance of team play. Similarly, having no life, nothing wrong with that, but you know what I mean, is a good preparation for life in academia. The Darwinian survival of the fittest often has undertones of survival of the best, a belief that the fittest are happy to reinforce. This distinction should not be forgotten, though. In competitive environments, the selection isn't for the best, but for those that best fit the environment. People are not selected for the best attributes, they're selected for the fittest attributes. A world without trees selects the short-necked giraffe, which is better adapted. Similarly, the career track selects people who are willing to give up their lives for the sake of work. Most promotions are governed by the requirement for seniority. This means that a superior has to be promoted, retired, or fired before an inferior can be promoted. Naturally, this predictable trajectory of promotions is subject to demographics. Hence, if you want a good estimate of your career prospects, it is more useful to look at the birth rate as a function of time than it is to look at your own career. Also, during periods of economic growth and rapid expansion, promotion is much easier than during periods of contraction or stagnation. If you ever wondered why your boss is incompetent, or why it's so hard for you to advance, chances are that he started his career during a period of economic expansion which required scraping the bottom of the barrel for all the new positions to be filled, while you didn't, relatively speaking. Salaried wages lead to an employer preference for longer work hours. Also, employers have fixed costs and thus prefer workers to work the capitalized assets as hard as possible. By paying higher wages and limiting the number of jobs on high salaries, employers can make workers compete for those jobs. Advancement doesn't work on the model of a ladder as much as on that of a pyramid. As workers spend more time on the job, it leads to a dependence on the job since little time can be spent on alternative pursuits. Having several income streams is in fact highly dangerous to worker motivation. I can clarify, yes, that is correct. I'm going to stretch for just a moment here. My knees are really stiff this morning. Might do a little stretching. That'd probably be good for me, actually. This is why capital income is generally cordoned off into special retirement accounts with penalties for withdrawal. This is also why many employers discourage workers from working competing or even non-competing jobs. In addition, debt plays a major role in locking people into working for most of their lives. It used to be that marriage was seen as a lock-in. Unlike a bachelor, a husband would need a job to take care of his dependents. Today, this is no longer the case, and being single is more of a lock-in since the family income isn't diversified by having more than one working spouse. A consumer life is one of intense specialization. Most do a single job without much concern for the greater whole. This is why great importance is placed on fitting in and being a team player. Oh, man, that's sore. Conversely, it also means that few participants in society really have or attempt any understanding of larger issues like climate change, geopolitics, and population issues, or why, despite our advances in technology, we still work as hard as our grandparents did. Such problems are typically left to them, but do they, the experts, really know what they're doing? Anyway, specialization is for insects, is the TLDR of this. Become a Renaissance man instead, which is what is talked about later in this book. We will read more of this as time goes along, but I'll go ahead and, I know it's a rather dry text, but I cannot recommend this book highly enough. If you guys really want, if you guys are super big fans of this channel, send me a book of this in my P.O. box. I will sign it and then send that book to you. Anyway, so I think we've done enough of that. Does anybody else have financial fitness questions or advice? Because if not, oh, what's up, Tay-Buns? Good to see you. You know what? I'll read one more. I'm going to get a little water, and I'm going to read one more about the Renaissance man ideal of this. And then I think I'm going to get up. I will take my shirt off, and I'm going to do some stretching, because if I change it to health and fitness, I shouldn't have any issues there. Per Twitch guidelines, I believe that's okay. Let me get some water. I will be right back. Oh. Much better. There we go. Oh, much better. Okay, let's talk about the Renaissance man ideal for a moment. Chapter 6, A Renaissance Lifestyle. Ooh, ooh. So my knee, I banged that up last Wednesday playing Ultimate Frisbee, and it has not quite healed up the way I had hoped. We're about a week in, you know, and I guess the surgery kind of timed up well because I still definitely can't do leg day on it, or at least not in a heavy manner. I can squat to about here, but if I move, oh, like there, all right, I kind of if I can't bend the knee much more than about here. This is fine. This hurts a little. And if I oh boy, that gets hard. That's tough. Nice position. Thank you. Taking your t-shirt will help. No, it won't. I will do some stretching in a little while, but man, my knees have just been all sorts of sore recently. All sorts of messed up. Sodos, welcome. I don't think I've seen you chat before. Good to have you. If you enjoy the content, please consider following. We get to 1,000. We'll do a truth or drink stream, y'all. We will talk about all sorts of wonderful things. I will answer the whole truth and nothing but the truth for everyone that is going to ask me a question. And you know, I know I've kept sort of my dating and sexuality kind of a bit of a secret. Kind of go with the David Bowie method there. So if you guys have questions about that, well, there's your answer. Or perhaps maybe the Freddie Mercury method is the better answer there. All right, Chapter 6, A Renaissance Lifestyle. Few consciously think about complex strategies in daily living. On a daily basis, a functional strategy is invisible. Rarely do we ever step back and re-examine our strategy or lifestyle design. Editor's note, I do, but that's because I'm a nerd and engineer. I like doing that. Most of the time, we simply adopt the tactics that are handed down through the system without a second thought. Now, it's possible to improve normal consumer budgets by several percent by utilizing tips, hacks, and tricks to optimize the efficiency of existing tactics. Keep in mind, however, that hacking existing methods isn't going to accomplish the same level of satisfaction as devising new methods that are suitable to the new strategy. One doesn't win a trench war against machine guns by improving the cavalry. Substantial improvements don't happen incrementally by patching existing methods. They require a complete redesign. Until now, we have concentrated on the theoretical foundations and guiding principles of the Renaissance life. In this chapter, I'll describe the trees of the forest. Just as early humans built fires and shelters out of planted seeds to modify their environment, we should modify our environment in ways that are beneficial rather than detrimental to our goals. When the environment can't be changed, we'll adapt ourselves to flow along with the environment instead of struggling against it. It should be realized that it'll rarely be possible to change the environment on a grand scale and build a utopia. That is, unless you and the rest of the world all do what I say. Most tactics will therefore be executed in the current environment. However, they'll be carried out with an entirely different goal in mind. Becoming independently wealthy, there's that term again, and financially independent, within 5 years. The methods for doing so will be simple. I won't present any tips that haven't been seen before and which one can't find prescribed in detail in hundreds of other books. Success will not depend on becoming famous on the internet or getting a book deal, nor will it depend on a timely participation in a market bubble of junk bonds, internet companies, real estate, gold, or tulips. If y'all get that reference, I'm proud of you. If y'all don't know what the tulip boom was, go look it up. It also won't depend on successfully starting your own business. You won't need to develop a particularly specialized skill such as real estate flipping. In fact, if you have a job, keep it. However, using the methods in a way that aligns your goals and side effects persistently and consistently to achieve financial or job independence is not easy. You must be willing to change your frame of mind and conquer old habits. In particular, you must be willing to do things that 95% of the population won't be able to understand and that 99% of the population won't be willing to do. You must also be exceedingly confident that you are doing the right thing, which is why 90% of this book, until this point, is dedicated to the development of a coherent philosophy. Freedom is attained by creating a large gap between production, revenue, and consumption, expenses. This can be done in two ways, earning more or spending less. Nothing new there. Which of the two you prefer depends on individual circumstances. If you're easily capable of producing more, you'll frame freedom as the opportunity to produce more. If producing more requires significant effort, you'll frame freedom as not having to produce more. In an affluent and wealthy society, the latter is much more easily achieved by most, including myself. There was and is no way I could increase my income by a factor of 4. But it was certainly possible to reduce my expenses to a quarter of their former level. I think this holds for the greater part of the bell curve of incomes. Unless you're very poor with, an income of under $10,000 a year, or very rich, income of maybe more than $500,000 a year, boosting your income is very difficult. If done intelligently, a little money will go a long way. Unfortunately, in this age, money is rarely spent intelligently. So by practicing intelligent asset management, it is possible to live wealthily without spending nearly as much as the average. This is the rub. This is what I do. On an absolute scale, spending less also allows for greater choice in how you earn your money. Currently, the money I spend could be acquired through a part-time job as a burger flipper. Just imagine the riches a full-time job could bring. Alternatively, I currently acquire my income as an amateur asset manager or capitalist, using a little over 5 years of personal savings as my capital base. Since being a capitalist takes very little effort when you don't have to write progress reports or win new customers, I can dedicate most of my time to my primary passion, which is writing. In my instance, the long term, when I do hit financial independence, my primary passion would be this: streaming to you guys and giving you guys all sorts of content, trying to help you guys free yourselves from your chains. The strategy described in this chapter focuses on living inexpensively in a culture dedicated to extravagance, productivity, and material waste. It follows these guidelines: reduce wants and needs from the marketplace to a minimum to decouple the buy-work connection. Decrease the volume and size, but increase the sophistication of both your activities and your possessions. Measure prosperity by less activity, not more. Do fewer useless things. Work for the purpose of earning money for no more than 5 years of your life or 5 hours a week. Avoid generating waste and find ways to use the waste of others. Learn to use the system to your advantage, but don't be evil. Serve yourself rather than having others serve you. Instead, help them. Keep running costs down, but pay for value. Howdy, Christian. Thanks. Oh, by the way, can we all give some love to Christian in the chat? He's the one who told me that the subscriber chat had been turned on for some reason. So thank you very much for that, Christian. Maintain health to avoid the personal and monetary costs of sickness. Build up the capital to live as a capitalist, or the skills to always be able to find new work. Focus on productive assets rather than stuff. Focus on developing skills rather than on passive entertainment. Gain the maximum in satisfaction with the minimum expenditure of money and energy. And we'll get to stretching shortly. I just want to finish this. Reintegration is an important part of this design. Normal life has maximized separation due to an underlying engineering frame of mind, minimizing the degrees of freedom, and the economic idea of comparative advantage. See Adam Smith. With outsourcing being its latest manifestation. The separation occurs not just over the span of decades, with schooling, then working, then retirement, happening in 3 separate time phases, but also on a daily basis where people drive dozens of miles away from their home in a car for separate amounts of hours, separately, and then return late to their separate houses in the early evening to consume separately stuff acquired elsewhere. What worked for me was reintegrating much of this behavior to eliminate the personal inefficiencies this way of life creates. For instance, I lived close to work. Most of my work I do at home because it's mostly telework. I don't dress up for work, but according to season. I get around not by car, but by foot or bicycle, which provides free exercise. I retired from my career, but I still work and I still learn. Hence, I no longer get divided and conquered under the guise of comparative advantage. This is probably what I will end up doing when I hit financial independence in a couple more years. In case you all are wondering, the answer is 952 days. May 14th, 2025 is the current goal. In the following descriptions, I have omitted many details of implementation. Consider them left as exercises for the student, whose inclusions would otherwise result in this book being several hundred pages longer. All the technical details of how to do these things can be learned from other books and websites in a matter of months. I trust that the reader, after hearing about a specific method, will be able to fill in the blanks. For instance, if I suggest making your own laundry detergent or a self-watering container, I trust the reader to find the pertinent details on the internet. This leaves the technicalities to the reader, and I can restrict myself to pointing out what to look for and how to devise a strategy. So we'll talk more about the specifics of that strategy some other time, unless you want to hear me continue going on this. Otherwise, I'm going to switch the stream to a little bit of fitness, and we're going to do some stretching, because I'm quite stiff, and I think I could use it. So we're going to move to fitness and health. And because I'm in fitness and health, I do believe I can take the shirt off for this. I'm going to leave the shorts on, but we will get up. Prince Jade, I'm looking for straight men for a bed commercial. Hello, I am human. That is the most sus comment I think I have ever received on here. Congratulations, Prince Jade. If you're serious, DM me, I guess, or send me a whisper. I don't... feels good. Actually, this is perfect because it is now almost 9:30, and look, if you have to say you're human, generally speaking, that's kind of a sus thing to say. It's like, hello, fellow humans. How do you do, fellow kids? That sort of thing. It's almost like that meme. It feels good to be standing up. As much as I love sitting in my bed. That's the thing. The doctor is telling me you got to stay in bed and all of that. But I don't want to. All right. So today, I think I can take my shirt off for this. I hope Twitch doesn't have problems with it. Again, we're just stretching, so it's actually pretty valuable to see, for instance, the back. So we're going to stretch. Start with the basic toe touch. I meant cows have big nose, but dogs are good at smelling. I don't know what that means. Is that a metaphor? See, this is the trouble. Right, I need to bring this up just a bit. So this is the trouble I have, right? This isn't going to be yoga. I'm not that competent. I wish I could claim what I do as yoga, but just a basic toe touch. This is my problem. I have all the flexibility of a steel girder. I can't even touch my ankles. Oh. I'm gonna go ahead and do a few push-ups. I think I can do push-ups and get away with it. We're gonna see. Again, I had a surgery on Monday, so I'm gonna be very careful with what I do. But that may kind of help increase the blood flow a little bit. Should make me a little bit more limber. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not bad. That's 40 push-ups. Just trying to make sure I feel all right there. Ooh. Stretch out the knee. Is that pretty sore? Yeah. I'm definitely not at 100% right now, y'all. I think I may be pushing it a bit. Oh, so I have to be real careful. Trying to stretch out this knee. Oh. Oh, it just popped. Yeah, I'm technically not. I really probably shouldn't go too much further. I'm gonna stick to stretching a little bit more. That's not bad. Let's try pulling the knee to the chest. Bring the camera up a touch. There we go. Yeah, we may not do too much more of this. Okay, so that feels good. But the left knee isn't the one that's hurt. Okay. Let's try the right knee. Excuse me. Ooh. Bring it up slowly. Yeah, that's quite sore. That's painful. I can feel it You feel it on the outside, on the lateral side. Oh, that's a pop. Sorry. Yeah. I'm not sure how much more I should do on this right now. Yeah. I think I'm gonna call it quits on that, unfortunately. I really want to do more, but doctor's probably right when he tells me to relax for a little while. The good news is it's 9:30, so we can move back to the finances section of things and talk stocks. Oh, yeah. Listen to my body, y'all. I'm sorry. I know that's probably more, what some of y'all are looking for on my stream. And I promise it's going to come back, but I gotta be more careful about it. All right, so, woof, stock market is opening very red today, which means I'm not really going to be able to make a lot of moves. I was hoping for one more green day, but it's looking like no. Let's see. S&P down 1%. A lot of my tech stocks are down 3 to 4. Yikes. Oh, yeah. This sucks. I want to go work out. Like, more than anything else in the world. I miss working out. I need it. It's my stress relief. I need that shit. Well, I guess we'll change this back to just chatting. There we go. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I just don't, I'm not able to do that. Between my knee and my surgery, that's not ideal. Actually been going for about an hour and a half. Do we have any stocks or finances questions? Would you like to hear me read more to y'all? At this point, I could go eat breakfast. I normally don't, but I could. Could go make a salad or something. Could talk about diet, talk about exercise, talk about fitness, talk about, I could motivate, talk about finances. What does chat want to see me do at this point? If not, maybe I'll play a little Railroad Tycoon, mix it up. You know what? That might be fun. I think we're going to do that. We'll play a little Railroad Tycoon. Show you guys one of my favorite childhood games. Do I typically skip breakfast? Yes. I very seldom eat breakfast. I'm never hungry in the mornings, and I have to get up for my job at 5:30 anyway, sometimes even earlier, sometimes 5. So it's just not. It's time wasted on eating food at an hour where I'm not hungry anyway. And I don't even really like breakfast food that much. Now, breakfast taco fucking slaps, but generally speaking, like pancakes, waffles hold no appeal to me. God, I have no interest in eating breakfast cereal. It's just straight carbs anyway. It's the worst freaking thing you could put into your body after living in a fasted state. So I'm not a fan personally, just my opinion. But if you like breakfast cereal, it's all you. I don't drink coffee. I will occasionally drink a hot cup of tea. I could go make a cup of tea. Would you like to? I guess I could go make a cup of tea if that would be something y'all would find interesting. Alternatively, I'm thinking I might go maybe play around with some trains. I think that's what we're gonna do next. A little Railroad Tycoon, y'all. This will be fun. Yeah, let's do that. All right, we're going to switch to Railroad Tycoon 3. This is one of my favorite games I've had, since I was a kid, and the playability for me is just always quite good. So we'll go ahead and play a little of this. Hey, Silent Zach, thank you very much for the follower. You are number 512. If we hit 1,000, we will do a Truth or Drink stream where I'm going to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth for all of y'all. Y'all can ask me any question you'd like. Let's see how this... do I do meal prepping? Yes, I do. Oh, hang on. I need to switch this. Stand by. Y'all probably hearing harmonica music in the background, which is great. Actually, are you? Maybe you aren't. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Yep, there it goes. Alright, so just gotta go to sources. Sorry, just gotta update the sources. There we go. Webcam go small. We'll put you in the top right. Or put me in the top right, rather. Screen go big. And there we go. Now y'all should be able to see. We're going to resume our campaign. So we're going to do that. We're going to save it, and then we're going to move on to the campaign screen. And we're going to take on the next one, which is Germantown, everyone. 1855. We have set up... Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go get a mouse. It's going to be a lot easier for this. Stand by. Give me 30 seconds. Actually, having a mouse for this game makes it a lot easier to play. Just my opinion. So we're going to plug in our mouse. We use this book as a mouse pad. Oh, I'd forgotten to build this. Well, we can't. Gotta build that. That's much better. Anyway, so we're going to save this. This was our first scenario called Go West, where you're supposed to build a railroad from Boston, Massachusetts to Buffalo, New York. We did so by way of New York City, Albany, and Syracuse. Here's the campaign screen. Yes, I do meal prepping. In fact, if you guys have seen my streams, you guys have seen me do meal planning before, actually. All right, so you guys ready? Is this on stream? Oh my gosh, why is the window so small?
Won't play themselves. Well, heck, you know, maybe they will. Let's not find out, though. Go ahead and give one a good tap.
Hang on, let me unfuck the screen here for a moment. Something was messed up there. Let me just give it a second. Is this on Steam? Oh, it is on Steam. Yes. It's a good game. I recommend it. Let me see if it'll... Why is it...
Well, maybe you might be nervous with me. In the middle of the 1800s, things were right tough in the old world of Europe. Most of the land was on...
Oop. Crap. I usually like the little intro music. Yeah, it's shrinking for some reason. I don't know why it's shrinking. But I've got a solution to that, at least a temporary one. So we're gonna take the screen, make it bigger. That should work.
Well, it didn't go too well for you.
There we go. That's much better. Yeah, look at that. I need Steam friends. Oh, did the game just crash? Old Greg, welcome. Yeah, so the reason I can't stream, or the reason I cannot, the reason I can't lift right now is because I had surgery on Monday, and so I've got to be. per doctor's orders, I have to take it a little bit easier. Just gotta unfuck the screen here. What's up, old Greg? It's good to see you, man. Yeah, I had a surgery a few days ago, and I have to rest up. Like, I tried doing some push-ups, some stretching earlier, and it's not happening. So yeah, I guess I can drop my Steam if people want to see it. So let's go single player. We'll load up. That's pretty good. Okay, it looks like y'all can at least see it now. The campaign screen. Alright, here we go. Hopefully y'all be able to hear this.
In the middle of the 1800s, things were right tough in the old world of Europe. Most of the land was owned and controlled by the aristocracy. That meant few opportunities for the common folk. But in America, you could make a name for yourself instead of having to inherit the right one. Whole German communities picked up and resettled in the Midwest, lock, stock, and barrel. Sometimes you could barely tell you weren't back in the old country.
Neat. All right, cool. I wanted y'all to see. I love the little movie segues. I think they're really neat. So, I figured I'd throw that on there. Gotcha. I'll have to make a mental note to avoid surgery so I can keep lifting. Well, again, stick around. I think my next lifting stream, I'm going to give Sunday a shot. So stick around. I promise you the normal content will resume, but we got to make do for now while I'm still out of commission. But if you've got questions about fitness, diet, fitness, diet, or finances, you know, it's always free. Let's turn that down a bit. All these settlers have brought their dreams of a better life in a free place. However, nothing is free, and so have to work hard. So will you. These towns are growing fast, and they're going to need supplies and transportation if they're going to succeed. You're just the tycoon they're looking for. So we've got to connect St. Louis to Cleveland, get a company book value, and earn money from industry profits. Oh, we also have to be the only railroad in business by the end of 1880. That's going to be challenging. All right, so what we have here is the good old Midwest, it looks like, and part of the South. We've got Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, look like Arkansas down there. So, good old Midwest. Let's look, as we always start with raw materials. How's cotton? There is none. Okay, so cotton's out. How about wool? There is some wool coming from, it looks like, Kentucky, so that might not be a bad option. Looks like there's lots of wool in Ohio, too, so Toledo might be a good place to start, because they've already got a mill humming along. Alternatively, I could start up in Minneapolis. It looks like there's wool up here, as well as in Iowa. Let's take a look at what else we've got. How about iron? A lot of iron going to Minneapolis. Coal. So there's iron and coal up here, which means we could put a steel mill in a little while. That might be useful. Let's take a look at produce. There's a shit ton up there, and how about grain? Shit ton up there. So that leads me to believe that I think a brewery may be our best option here, either a brewery or a distillery. Oh my god, there's no paper on this map, except for down there. So I think I think Minneapolis is going to be where we want to start. I think we're going to start up in Minnesota. Ohio, consume the U.S. Why are you the way you are, Metal? Why are you the way you are? Let's see, how about livestock? It looks like livestock's already pretty well spoken for, so I don't think we're going to do much there. I think we're going to start with Minneapolis to Rochester and move southwards. So we've got grain, we've got tons of produce. I think we're going to start with getting the Midwest drunk. Unless... yeah, we got a brewery there. Could start at St. Louis, but I don't think that's quite as wise. How about Chicago? What about logs? Oh my holy mother of God, lumber. Okay, yeah, no, we're gonna do lumber. We're gonna start in Minnesota for sure. Ooh, Elk River, I like that. That's a good name. before your dreams are of starting a railway out in the Midwest, before your dreams of starting a railway out in the Midwest, you've done a little investing. On the eve of your company debut, you hear that the investment is paid off. Which one is it? Import the Firefly, 170,000 investment return, 10% less for all trains, or station building costs is minus 10%. So the best option here is minus 10% for all trains because you'll end up having shit tons of them. But 170K right now is a lot of money, and that will help us build industry, which we're going to want. Elk River to lay track in Midwest. The U.S. government has given Elk River a $500,000 grant. Oh, that's 160K personally. Oh, that is beautiful. Yes. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is change the dividend. Actually, the first thing we're going to do is issue stock. Then we're going to buy a share. Next, we're going to issue a bond. Then we are going to place a lumber mill in Rochester, Minnesota. Then we're going to place okay, so we've already issued our bond. So we need to build the trains first. So we're going to do Minneapolis to Rochester. And that's not going to be enough, so we're going to have to go with a wooden bridge for now. It's kind of shitty, but nothing I can really do. No. Building tracks sometimes gets tricky in this game. Maybe there's a better way to skin this cat. Maybe go this way. That'll about do it. And we are out of money. So we're gonna wait for a little while. We have to build a track. That's okay. This lumber mill is going to be very profitable very shortly. All we got to do is wait now. What is this game? This game is Railroad Tycoon 3. So we are basically running railroads. We are going to pay a nice little dividend to ourselves, though, because we're going to need that. So we've got several other railroads that are going to pop up. Oh my gosh, stock price is already rising. Wonderful. Saginaw Southern, I don't think is going to make a lot of money. We'll see. I could be wrong. They're moving grain. Nah, that's not going to have a whole lot. Alright, what is this one? St. Louis Southern? That's a terrible line. Cape Girardeau isn't big enough. Oh, they suspended the dividend. Fuck. Alright. I'm going to sell my own stock. I'm going to wait. I'm going to sell some of these, I think. What I'm going to do... Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell... No, I'm going to hold on. Again, I don't have the money yet to make any big profits, but... Once logs start moving here, we are going to see shit tons of money come through. I'm fine. It's a game for people that really turned on my trains. Yeah, Metal, it's good to see you again. You've been hiding on us. So we're going to wait. We're going to see what other railroads pop up. I don't think the St. Louis and Cape Girardeau is going to do very well. We'll see. We're going to let those let those run for a year, and then we're going to make a decision on whether or not we want to short sell someone. Distilleries appeared near Columbus. That's not going to do much. But there will be plenty of opportunities for distilling up here. Okay, the Indianapolis and Lafayette. That's... Again, I'm not sure any of these railroads are going to be particularly good. I don't think that's going to do a whole lot. I'm not convinced on that one. The Madison Southern, I think this will be the one that's going to win because that's got a profitable meat packing plant. So I think I'm going to buy stock in the Madison Southern. I'm going to sell stock. I'm going to short sell. Yeah, I'm going to short sell the St. Louis and Cape Girardeau. And I'm going to short... I'm not going to... I'm going to do nothing with the Saginaw Southern for now. And we're still stable. I'll let this roll along. Perfect. Huge stock cut, which is what we wanted. Because now, what we can do is issue stock. We're gonna have to wait for this lumber mill to kick in. It's gonna be a minute, but don't worry, it'll come. Issue stock. Buy stock on margin. We're already making big money short selling the St. Louis and Cape Girardeau. I think we're gonna let's take a look at the trains on the other one. That's carrying nothing. That's also carrying nothing. That's gonna mean I'm gonna short sell this. So we short sell that. I think we're gonna buy. Let's take a look at the Madison Southern. It's carrying meat. I'm not gonna buy anything more in the Madison Southern. I'm gonna hold off on buying anything else right now. Wait for the economics to change a bit. We're still in debt. We don't have enough money. But looks like the first bits of wood are going to come through. Once that happens, we're going to be in fucking business. Missed most of the stream tonight. That's alright. Yeah, this is going to start getting a lot better real quick here. So we're going to buy on margin. Yup, here we go. Let's max this fucker out. Now that we've got the lumber mill moving, we're about to make Mondo Casho, y'all. Yeah. No, the St. Louis is sinking into the fucking river. That's not profitable. Now the lumber mill's starting to churn money. That's what we're looking for, y'all. Here it comes. We're about to make Mondo money. Look at that. We're already... we're going to be able to build a station real soon here. Growing prosperity. Okay, so now, what that means is it's going to be easier to obtain credit, and our profits are going to rise. The economy's improving now. So now all we need to do is get enough money to build stations and build a train. So now we wait. Come on. Dang it. Just want to build. Always bet on meat packing and wood. Yeah, well, we've got a meat packing plant making money here. Investors are still annoyed with my performance. They're pretty pissed off at everyone right now. The investors, they are not happy, but I have capital from loans now. So now we can really make some plays. First thing we're doing, building stations. Second thing we're going to do, build a train. Rochester to Minneapolis, boom, done. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to build a paper mill. So we've got all this pulpwood. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to move it to Rochester. Actually, no, I think we're going to... Yeah, no, we're going to put it in Rochester. Rochester's going to have a lot of our... paper mill's 900K. We can't quite afford it yet. Okay, that's okay. So instead, we're going to put up a dividend. Next thing we're going to do is start buying up logging camps. We're going to buy just 2 for now. This is going to start really printing lots of money this year. As is... Oh, look at that. Milk, mail, passengers. Yeah, we're going to be making lots of money this year. So just hold on tight. We're going to buy this on margin. Absolutely extend margin to the limit. And we are about to take the fuck off, y'all. Believe it or not. I know it doesn't look like much. But this is an extra 120K. And once we've got that, we can start a paper mill, and we are going to start pumping out fucking industry. You know what? I'm actually not going to issue stock. I could issue stock. I don't quite want to yet. We also need to build a service tower. There we go. Because now we can really start boosting dividends. Don't quite have enough money for the paper mill yet, so we're gonna wait on that anyhow. Could we upgrade the lumber mill? No, not yet. It'd be 845 grand to do. We're not stacking logs yet. Actually, we are. We're about to start stacking logs, so we're gonna probably want to do that. Goods, produce. Oh my god, this is super profitable. Yeah, this is gonna be really good. So yeah, the stock price is climbing very quickly. So now it's all about what moves to make correctly and in what order. So we've still got wool. We want to buy those up, I believe. Because yes, those are loss causing assets, but what we want to do eventually is have worthwhile farms and such. If we put them in Mason City, I think that'll be the way to do it. Speed up the game a little bit. There we go. It's 184K. Once we do that, we'll have enough money. Not quite. Almost enough money to put down a paper mill. That's alright. We'll wait a little longer. Economy is slowing, which means we should buy a little more on margin. In fact, yes. Now I think we're going to look to make a move on the Madison Southern as fast as possible. Now we've got enough money to build a paper mill. So we're going to do that. We're going to put the paper mill here in Rochester. Look at all that. We got logs. Study has shown that railways could decrease stations by as much, delays at stations by as much as 20% if they have full-time cable operators. Cost you is 20% more in station maintenance. Absolutely doing that. We want efficiency. The barracks has appeared in Madison, so that's a problem. That is going to build a lot of money going forth with alcohol, which I believe Milwaukee should be sending over fairly shortly. So we're going to need to make a move, and fast. Alright. Might have to send you a training set for Christmas. Nah, don't do that. I've got plenty of things and stuff. I don't need more of that. So the next thing we need to do, did we buy those 2 wool farms? We bought one of them and the other one went under. Fuck! That's not what I was hoping to do. Next thing up we're going to want is a textile mill. Textiles are pretty solid profit generators. Actually, I think that's not going to be the most efficient thing for us to do. Most efficient thing for us to do is going to be upgrading this bad boy. Now we have an upgraded lumber mill. We're going to be pumping out shit tons of lumber. And our stock price is going to the fucking moon. Yeah, that'll be triple digit. We're going to have a stock split pretty soon this year. So I'm going to go ahead and buy the St. Louis Cape Girardeau back. Wait to sell the Madison and Rockford. There we go. That paper mill will make us lots of money. And until it finishes, we're going to have a good time with... Yes, okay, so now we're making... Now we've got enough to move to Mason City. Is this making much? No, it's not really. Okay, so what about produce? The next thing we need to do is a distillery. Yeah, we're going to put a distillery in Minneapolis. That one, we don't want to move the produce anywhere. That'll be the next step. Definitely want industry profits. But I think we also want to... No, I think we're going to wait to build the distillery Then we're going to start connecting, branching outwards. Yeah, we're going to want to move. I think we're going to want to go to Stevens Point and then try to buy out the Mason and Rockford. Or the Madison and Rockford, rather. So we're just going to wait, let the stock price continue to rise. Choo-choo indeed. $102. Yeah, our stock price is just skyrocketing. $113. And now that we can issue another bond, we're almost going to have enough to build that distillery, which we will do ASAP. Ah, yay. When you're really profitable, you tend to make lots of money. So that's gonna start. That's turnkey right there. That's gonna make shit tons off the fucking bat. Daniel Drew fired from chairmanship of the St. Louis and Cape Girardeau. Shareholders are revolting against poor management. That's well, that was easy, wasn't it? God, 4 years in. Oh, we have 2-for-1 stock split. That's always good. Yes. Yes, okay, so investors are extremely happy with me. They're highly annoyed with everyone else. They're neutral with the Madison Rockford. So now what we need to do is get more credit. I know it seems like we're just taking out ass tons of loans, and the answer is, well, we are. But this is going to continue to rise at this point. So we're just going to go ahead and let... we're going to go ahead and let this be. Ah, shit, that's what I was afraid of. The Madison Southern is moving. So now the question is, if we can attempt a merger, we're going to need 2 mil to do it, and that won't be too hard to do, actually. So we're going to sell and buy theirs. Then we're going to get ready to buy. We're going to buy this guy out before it grows too big, otherwise it's going to get pretty tough for us. Luckily, we are going to be able to acquire lots of debt, lots of capital to do so. Because that's already producing alcohol for us. Shit, there's a distillery that got built here too? I did not see that. If I had seen that last year, I'd have been able to buy it for a lot more money. That's okay. We're gonna have shit tons of alcohol, is all that means. It's still gonna be really profitable. Yeah. I probably shouldn't have built that distillery now that I'm thinking about it, but that's okay. Yeah, I want to buy this, like, ASAP. Yeah, because you can see these trains are pulling full loads. They're making money. I just need to hold on and hope the economy doesn't boom too much here, because if it does, I'm not going to be able to take them over. But since they've already connected to Milwaukee for me, that does at least make expansion a little bit easier. We can just meet up at Stevens Point. Hope it'll eventually start moving in there. Once it does, we're going to make tons of money. Yeah, we're going to need... Yeah, we're just going to need more money. Just going to need more money. Madison Southern's going to require... Yeah, I don't think they would go for it at a share price of 80, so I'm just going to need more. Just got to wait. How many people are still watching this? Wow, 16 people. How about that? That's pretty neat. Wasn't expecting that. Ah, boy. Yep, Madison Southern stock price is rising. Now, will we be able to catch them is the question. Ah, yes, the economy is slowing. That's really good for us. That's going to put a limit on their stock price. What are we going to need? 10 million from industry profits, company book value of 40 million. Yeah, we just need to be able to buy out the other railroads. That's going to be the key. Yeah, we're going to want to do that as fast as possible. Come on, man. Just need a little more money first. Do we try it at $97 a share? Or do we try and wait? Let's wait a little longer. I'm going to wait. I think I'm making money faster than the company is, than the other company's stock price is rising. Shit. That was a poor choice. I shouldn't have done that. But I can at least go more in debt and basically ensure that I buy it. Here we go. Merger succeeds, 15,000 to 5,000. Boom. We have taken over the Madison Southern. And because I own 2,000 shares, I just put myself back in the black. Big deal right there. That's what we wanted. I forgot about the Indianapolis and Lafayette. So now, what do we do from here? Well, now that we have these trains, we're going to start by, we want 7 trains on there. We want a caboose. And we want to connect up these lines. So the next thing we're going to do is, well, we're going to do that. Actually, no, what's much more important right now is that we connect to Chicago. Chicago is a huge city with a giant port, and that needs to be done ASAP. Yeah, the Midwest is a lot less flat than it should be in this game. Railroad Tycoon, the Midwest is not supposed to be this hilly. Perfect. Alright, so now we're going to put a service station right over here. Oh, we don't have the money yet. But we can issue stock. Oh, no, we can't. Guess we can't. Okay, now we are off to a great start here. All we gotta do is connect up the lines and then start building industry, and lots of it and fast. There we go. So, okay, how are we doing now? We starting to get paper in? Oh, we are. That is going to start making big money. Who moderates the moderator? Agreed. I mean, I guess in theory I do, but I'm kind of busy, providing the content. We want more paper. We want a second paper mill over here. I think right now I want to connect to Mason City next. I don't have the money yet. Oh, new locomotive, the American. A little bit faster, a little bit less reliable, but a little cheaper. Weapons factory has just appeared near Detroit, so we'll keep an eye on that. There's very little you do in that run. I think we're going to sell the sheep farm. I don't think we've really got the ability to do much with it. The St. Louis and Cape Girardeau is continuing to go into bigger and bigger debt. We're going to up our dividend a little bit to pay ourselves a bit more. I don't know why everybody else is buying into the St. Louis and Cape Girardeau. People are horny for trains. Metal is horny for everything, to be fair. Nothing is new here. So how about grain? Where is all this grain coming from? Okay, yeah, it's coming down from in here. We don't need to worry about alcohol for the moment. We've got plenty of it. Next up, yeah, we need to connect. We need to do more connecting, so we're going to connect to... Do we want to do Dubuque or Stevens Point? I think we're going to do Stevens Point. We're going to stay up in the north. We do not have near enough money for that for laying track. So we're going to need to wait a little while longer. While the game does that, I'm going to take another pee. Sorry, guys. Man, I drink too much water. I'm talking, so I have to drink lots of water so my mouth doesn't get dry. Then I have to pee, and then... Oh, the Indianapolis and Lafayette has also declared bankruptcy. Good. All my competitors are going tits up. That's a good sign. Okay, so we're now 1856. We have... Still don't quite have enough credit. I think the game is realizing I've expanded a bit too quickly and is trying to slow me a bit down, which is okay. I wonder if he would like other games that make money. I do. I love simulator games. They're a lot of fun. I think the next goal is going to be Mason City, actually. So it's going to be affordable to connect to. Start moving lumber, alcohol. That's good. Hey, all right, we got ourselves a little 100 bits. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Paul. Thank you. So now we got ourselves 2 lines. I think, yeah, we're gonna want to connect to Stevens Point, and we're gonna want to connect to Dubuque. So we gotta cross the Mississippi, integrate our rail. Yeah, the trouble is we just don't quite have enough capital to do any of that yet. Everybody else's rail has basically gone tits up, so that's a good sign for us. We're gonna buy more of our own rail. Yeah, I own half the company at this point, or a third of the company, so we're looking good. Really good. We've got all sorts of, I mean, the amount of timber we are processing at this. Really what we need is a second lumber mill, but we don't have one. I think a second paper mill in Stevens Point is going to be the move. Because that'll keep all those logging camps alive until we can go over there. Because eventually, you know, natural resources will go away if they're not profitable in this game, so you have to kind of support them as fast as you can. So I think our next step is going to be a paper mill in Stevens Point. Stevens Point, Wisconsin. Paper mill. Yes, sir. That should help produce lots of pulpwood, or consume more of the pulpwood that's on the map. Yeah, the dividend got suspended. It's actually pretty good. We're going to issue more stock, actually, than anything else. What we need now more than anything else is liquidity. Now the question is, do we go to Stevens Point or do we go through Dubuque? I think the answer is going to be Stevens Point. How do we connect up there is the question. It's going to require crossing 2 rivers, which is expensive. Maybe we should do Dubuque in the meantime. Actually, I think the real move is going to be upgrades, stations. We could probably put a second lumber mill in Rockford, actually, now I'm looking at it. Maybe throw in a post office or 2. Yeah, we almost got enough for another lumber mill. That's going to be the key. We're going to want another lumber mill. Lumber's really profitable in this game. Oh, Stevens Point has offered a bonus for the first railroad to connect to it. Well, that's going to be easy. That's a free 100K. That's going to make life a little easier. All right, you know what, Stevens Point? Good on you for being a clever little town. As a result of that, you are going to get connected to instead of Dubuque. Good for you. We do not have the money for that yet, though. Keep paying that dividend. Personal enrichment is a useful thing. What is this? This is Railroad Tycoon 3. It's a little simulator game. Again, due to the surgery, I can't lift, so we're making alternatives. Go ahead and buy a couple shares of these back. Knoxville has offered... Okay, so interesting. I can't get to Knoxville, though. That's quite a bit away. So we're going to have to focus on our own... We're going to have to mind our own business for a little while here first. Next up we're going to do is we're going to start buying all these logging camps, because these are going to be immensely profitable once this lumber mill gets going. So we're going to buy this one. Oh, milk. God, we got lots of it over here. We're buying up the lumber industry, which is good. So Rockford's going to become a bit of a hub for lumber milling, which is good for us. We're going to get another stock split pretty soon. And now I believe we're going to have enough money to start expanding up to Stevens Point. I don't normally like to use wooden bridges, but right now we need to conserve on finances to grow effectively. So we're going to build Madison up to Stevens Point. Boom. Milk and grain going up. Choo-choo, there it goes. I love it. This game's so much fun. We'll probably play till 1860. Oh shit, the Civil War is coming up. Well, that'll be fun. We don't quite have enough to connect all the way to Rochester. Once we do, we're going to be in big business. That means we're going to have connections from Chicago all the way up to Minneapolis. Then we can really get going. We're going to want Stonebridge for the next one, though. Expensive though it may be, this is going to be an extremely important bridge for us over the Mississippi. Boom. All right, we've just connected from Rochester to Stevens Point, uniting our two lines, which means you can go from Minneapolis to Chicago now. Look at that alcohol train. Oh, this is wonderful. We're gonna want more trains fairly soon here, but we're not quite able to do that yet. So now, the question is, where do we expand next? Actually, now that I look at it, I think the next order of business is going to be to pay off debt. Our internal rate of return of growth is extremely impressive, but probably best that we get a little bit better credit going. James Fisk fired from chairmanship of Indianapolis and Lafayette. Shareholders. Oh, and another 2-for-1 split for us. That is good. Bonus. Quite that up. Alright, I think it's time for us to actually buy out these old companies that have failed. I'm wondering, they may try liquidating for... These companies may be looking to liquidate. Look, the St. Louis and Girardot is actually profitable. It's just heavily indebted, so it's a zombie company. We can buy the shit out of that. That'll be easy. So we'll buy that fairly soon, which means I think the next thing we're going to want to do is connect southward towards St. Louis. So that means the next step's going to be crossing the Illinois... Actually, we don't even need to. We could. Is Peoria worth... Yeah, Peoria's got alcohol. Yes, we'll connect to Peoria. Beautiful. Let's pay off a little debt. Let's do some refinancing. There we go. Just a touch of it. Gotta love flat old Illinois, the land of Lincoln. See, here's what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to buy half of this company, and then I'm going to give myself a giant fucking pay raise. Now that I own more than half the company, it doesn't matter what I do. In fact, there we go. I own half the company now. Bowling Green has now offered... Okay, that's interesting. Keep that in mind. Actually, I may put a textile mill around there, maybe around Evansville or something. Might be useful. So we're going to do a little bit of fraud now. Our favorite activity, as we all know. I will take over the St. Louis and Cape Girardeau once we've connected to it. Next stop, Springfield. Easy. Boom. Now we're really moving. Now what we're going to want to start doing is adding post offices as well. The trouble with the railroad we're looking to buy is not that we can't afford to buy it, but it's that it's heavily indebted. So we're going to need to pay off those loans as soon as possible. So now that I've owned a shit ton of the company, I'm just going to buy it for a stupid price. Oh, well, there we go. Merger succeeds, of course. Boom, we get the St. Louis and Cape Girardeau. Yeah, it sucks because now we have a shit ton of debt, but we can pay that off. Shouldn't be too difficult. Trouble is, that's at 17% interest, so we're going to have to fix that, but It's okay. Is there more than one train going on here? There isn't. Let's improve that to a medium station. Is there really only one train on this line? I thought usually they have two. There it is. Alright, you're heading back to St. Louis, and then you're going to go up to Springfield. Boom. Excellent. Now we just gotta wait for the credit to roll on in, issue a little stock. We'll pay off 2,000 with no problem. We do have a debt problem right now. We've overextended, and now we need to wait for our profits to come in. How's the lumber mill here doing? Oh, just unbelievably well. Okay, so I need to upgrade that, but I don't have the. Actually, to be honest, that's gonna double our profit. That's gonna be worth doing. How about up here? We making money on this thing yet? Yeah, we are. Don't have enough pulpwood though. There we go. We'll handle the debt. That'll be the next thing. Ooh, a munitions factory showing up. That's going to be interesting. Yeah, we're going to have lots of alcohol coming. That's going to be useful. Start building post offices in the meantime. That should help improve mail traffic, and mail is very profitable. Definitely want one in St. Louis. Perfect. There we go. Starting to slowly bring down that debt. Okay, so Mason City to Rochester does not have a service station. Let's fix that. There we go. Put a little tavern in Minneapolis too. That'll be a nice little way to make a touch of extra profit. And we'll throw in a dividend for ourselves because we need to pay ourselves, which is important. Actually, we're just going to buy. There we go. I own the majority of this company now. I own the majority of this company. Perfect. So I own those companies now. They're not going to go away, but we're going to have plenty of money to buy them. So what's going on, chat? Anything else y'all got on your mind? Questions, comments, concerns? Obviously, again, I know this isn't the normal content. I get that. Ooh, growing prosperity. You'll love to see it. Let's start paying down some of these higher loans. So we'll do a little refinancing. We'll just keep refinancing a little bit, chunk by chunk. Issue some stock, and boom, we can take away this nasty 17% loan. Excellent. Now all we got to do, I think now's we're gonna slow down on growth and pay off a little bit of debt, because I think we've got everything else. Now we just need to connect. We need to do that, and then we need to connect to Cleveland. So now we focus on improving service too. Look at all that alcohol, beautiful. We're getting Mason City to runk. Maybe the next step is Des Moines. Damn it, we've got fucking ban. Really? Man. Bots are always so annoying. Alright. 1860, so we're getting to the point now where we have, oh, I forgot to put service stations on there. Oh, oil has now popped up on the map, and so is steel. So we've got iron, and lots of it, coal, and lots of it. So I think a steel mill is going to be a big deal. I think we're going to probably put that in... I put it in Rochester, actually. Rochester, Minnesota is going to be our fucking industrial town. That needs to be upgraded. Saginaw Southern is connected to Detroit, which means they are actually on the move and they present a threat. So we'll probably buy them fairly shortly here. Our credit rating is improved to an A level, which is good. Means we have access to slightly cheaper debt. Which is good. Slowly just cut our interest down a little bit. Saginaw Southern has raised 2,000 shares of stock. Yep, that's a problem. Okay, so the Saginaw Southern is clearly moving ahead. So what we're going to do, actually, is build a little line for them. And let them use it, and suck capital off of them like a leech. By all means, run your trains to Toledo. You're only going to pay me to do it. That's the difference. Let's see. Usually, they will. If you do this, they will run trains on track that you've built for them. I'm gonna find out though. I think actually maybe the next move is going to be taking over the Indianapolis and Lafayette. Is it? Oh, an oil well has appeared in Indy. Interesting. Livestock's still spoken for pretty well there. You know what? I don't think we're going to do that yet. I think we're going to make the merger first. Yeah, I'm ready for a big old payday. I'll buy the rest of the company, just because I can. There we go. There's no other shares on the market. I've cornered the market, and now I'm going to pay myself a shit ton of money. Boom! Huge profit. Which means I just paid myself to buy the company. In other words, I just pocketed an obscene amount of money for myself. So I'm just going to buy the rest of the shares on the market. Boom times ahead indeed. We'll go ahead and wait until the next recession, and then we'll go ahead and buy the rest of my shares of the company. Beautiful. So now we've bought this company. We're going to go ahead and connect to Cleveland. Actually, no, we're not. We don't have the money for it yet. But we are going to move this guy to Detroit, and then we're going to make this the Detroit to Toledo train. This is running Saginaw to Detroit. Fine with me. That's running Detroit to Saginaw. That's fine with me. I'm going to make this one Saginaw to Toledo. Okay, so the next step is going to be, I believe, to build a steel mill. Is that a warehouse? One iron produces a shit ton of steel. Well, okay then. Oh, another 2-for-1 stock split. Lol. We have built an incredibly successful company here. Alright, so, question is, where do we go from here? I think the answer is to build some steel mills. We're going to go ahead and jack up that dividend and start buying a little bit. Next up, I believe we're going to build a steel mill right here in the heart of Rochester. That is going to do is that is going to consume shit tons of iron, consume shit tons of coal. So we're going to start buying up these coal mines that have heretofore been semi but not extraordinarily profitable. Price of coal is going to go through the roof. Basically, we're becoming a giant conglomerate. Amazon would be proud. We want this coal mine. Civil War prices for munitions and ammunitions up 35%. Oh, would you look at that? Guess what we're building now? We just built a steel mill. Oh, and you know what else we have? We have lumber. You know what steel and lumber makes? Weapons. Time to make a weapons factory, everyone. We're gonna put it in Stevens Point. Or we could just be, you know, trolly as shit and put it in Rochester. What are the prices of weapons? No, we're gonna put it in Stevens Point. Time to do some war profiteering, y'all. We do a little war profiteering. Now we just need to wait for enough money. That shouldn't take too long. Speed up the game. I need, you know, if the government were to give me a little capital, I'd build them a nice little weapons factory here. Come on. Come on. Build me my weapons. I want my weapons factory, damn it. Come on, give me more money. Profits. There she goes. Beautiful. Now, demand for steel is going to go through the roof here. Means we're going to want a second train running from Rochester to Stevens Point. We're going to need it. Gonna need more iron. Not enough iron. May actually delete this one does too much. It's got too much money in it. That's okay. We'll start it out. That supply chain will build itself. More importantly, I'm gonna want a bunch of steel coming here. Ooh, lots of iron and coal over here. Alright. Not enough iron. Not enough of the iron mines got developed in Ohio, and now there isn't enough to produce what is needed. Unfortunately. So we're gonna have to do that somehow. We're gonna have to do that in a different manner. I'm gonna buy this iron mine for now, though, so it doesn't go under. Alright, so munitions factory appeared here. Does it take iron? It does. Well, let's make Mason City also have some. Spread the wealth, you know? We'll put a munitions factory in Mason City. Oh, that was a mistake. I just cut off my iron supply. That was dumb. I shouldn't have done that. Alright, so what we're going to need to do then is run a second train from Minneapolis to Rochester with a custom consist in Minneapolis of at least 3 iron and then everything else. Shit, and it's not going to want to do that. I was afraid it would do that. That's okay. Oh, this is fun. I need to get up and do stuff, so I probably won't play too much longer, but boy, I love this game. We're going to save, by the way. We're going to call this Midwest Railroad. Save. Cool. How's this distillery doing? Oh, it's doing great. Let's upgrade it. More alcohol. Oh, wow, yeah, pulpwood's doing good now. Steel mill's starting to produce. That's good. That's what we want. Start double tracking things. Yeah, we're gonna wanna. Upgrade the bridge. Make that solid stone. Let's connect this to Cleveland next, I think. The old mistake by the lake, as it were. Property, your houses are now my property. I need a train station in Cleveland, so deal with it. Economic boom fading, that's alright, we're doing just fine. Upgrade more of our lines. You know what we're going to do. We want to look to cross Chicago, the bottom of Lake Michigan, and move towards, let's do Kalamazoo, I think. No, Holland's a bigger city. Back to Holland, put in a post office, service station, second service station. We'll run Chicago to Holland. Run a second one from Holland as well. Beautiful. Then we'll run Holland to Lansing, and we will have connected St. Louis to Cleveland. Beautiful. St. Louis and Cleveland come together. That's a good feeling. Now we just need to build out the rest of our line and buy out the other competitor, which is, I believe, the only one left is the Indianapolis and what is that, Lafayette, something like that. Upgrade these railroad stations. That should make more profitable goods. We're going to build post offices everywhere. Oop, we already built one of those. That was a mistake. Upgrade Milwaukee. That should make it a more useful line. Let's have a direct Chicago to Milwaukee line as well. I think that's useful. Beautiful. Oh, look at all them passengers. That's a good sign right there. Let's do another train from Madison to Chicago. Yeah, see, now the passenger traffic's picking up because we've connected so many cities, and because freight rail is so profitable, it has to be done. There we go. Just go ahead and upgrade all that rail. Investors are once again very pleased with they are very pleased with my company. Go ahead. There we go. So I guess we need to connect to Indiana. I guess Lafayette would probably be Chicago would probably be the closest city. Ooh, average of 25 miles an hour, not bad. Let's get to building. Yeah, my war chest is getting real big now. Beautiful. Now we just buy out the remaining railroad, and we're good to go. Ah, another wonderful little profit moment for me. I wonder if I could just buy out the rest of this. Yeah, I think I might do that. We'll see. Beautiful. There we go. Now I'm starting to make a lot of money on owning the company at this point. We'll buy out the Indianapolis and Lafayette. I make a shit ton of money. Again. And now we're going to upgrade. I want to build a better station in Lafayette, though. And in Indianapolis. Ooh, the Madison and Rockford crashed. That's a pity. Train crashes do occasionally be like that. We'll do an Indianapolis to Chicago run. Get post offices built in Lafayette and in Indy. What's this warehouse do? Oh, okay, so it's going to start producing steel. That's alright. Now, the amount of coal on this map is insane, but there's next to no iron. The only iron left is up here in the Mesabi Range in Minneapolis. How's this steel mill doing? Steel mills appear near Charleston. Well, that's great, but there's not enough iron to feed it. Alright, so we bought out all the other competitors in the game. I think we're going to win this scenario pretty soon. So we're going to save. Start paying a big-ass dividend. I think maybe 500k a year. And then we're going to buy, and buy. There we go. Now we can just connect up more stations. Southbound's right here. Easy. Post office? Yeah, sure, why not? Who gives a shit? Easy. Nice little spur line. Kalamazoo? Fuck it, you get a railroad too. Now let's start moving westward. Fort Dodge, you got it. Iowa, you're getting rail. Now I get to. Now this is the fun part where I get to be like, you know, all. I get to be what's his name? I get to be like Oprah. You get a railroad station, and you get a railroad station, and you get a railroad station. Everybody gets a railroad station. Oops, that was not what I meant to build there. You get a railroad station. You get a railroad station. You get a railroad station. Alright. I think Dubuque seems like it could use a railroad station. Railroad station for you. I'm not connecting into the South until the Civil War is over. Just, you know, that's bad for business. Oh, there we go. Golden victory. No task undone, nor challenge unmet. And it is just about 11. So I think we're going to end the stream here. I do want to keep playing this. This is a great scenario. But we will save. And we will head to the campaign screen.
Well, you got them all neatly resettled and made a pretty penny for yourself. Fine, real fine. I think I'll get me a bratwurst.
Think I'll get me a bratwurst. Anywho, so this was a lot of fun, y'all. Again, I know that this is not the standard operating procedure for this server, or not for the server, rather. This is not the standard operating procedure for this place in terms of content. I know normally y'all want to see me lift and get swole and be shirtless. I promise that's coming back, okay? I do. It's not that I don't want it to come back. It's that per doctor's orders, I can't do it right now. So I need a few more days to heal up. And once I do, it's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully y'all are still here. Looks like we still have 10 viewers. Not bad. Before we wrap up, if y'all are interested in private streams, by the way, I do that sort of thing on the Discord channel. So if that's up to you, check out the Discord channel. Please tell your friends. I'd love to see 1,000 followers. We're about halfway there at this point. We can keep rolling. Those numbers are gonna keep rising. I think we've been doing okay. Yeah. So that's just about it. Before we leave, would any of y'all like anything else? Please, hit me up. Come talk to me. Yeah, it's been a lot. Oh, what do you do on the private streams, Wrinkly Fruit? It'll be a little bit more risque. If you're interested in learning more about private streams and Discord streams, please DM me on Discord, and I can talk to you about that. Generally speaking, I try to keep them a little bit separate. Oh, hello. The chat box needs to be moved just a touch. Much better. Perfect. We're going to just... There we go. Appreciate it. Did anybody else have any questions? Okay. I guess I can give y'all at least one decent pose. Y'all deserve that after watching me fucking play Railroad Tycoon for a little while. So, cheers, y'all. Get fucking swole. Get in good shape, right? I wish I could. Get out there and lift for me because I couldn't. Okay. Uh, I will be back tomorrow at 8 in the morning for the same sort of content. I think tomorrow what we're going to do is we're going to talk tier ranking. We're going to tier rank stuff, and we'll go from there. Cheers, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed this stream. Please give me feedback if you did any of that stuff. Love hearing from all my fans, all my viewers. Come hang out in the Discord, and I'll see y'all tomorrow at 8 in the morning.